As you can tell from the title of the video, this is about astrology. And I feel like I have to give the disclaimer. Yes, I'm a believer. Yes, I make Christian content. Astrology is in the Bible. Go argue with your pastor or something, not me. I'm not getting into all that in this video. All right, so with that out the way, one more disclaimer. This is just my opinion. I actually didn't do a bunch of research or nothing, but the whole point is that I want y'all to see that not just with astrology, but with most things in life, where there's negative traits attached to it or where there's downsides, there's usually always also something positive, something to be taken away from it, or in this case, a change of perspective. All right, from the top, Aries. Aries is typically seen as fiery, impulsive, passionate. Wait, I feel like I'm sounding positive out the gate. All right, people say that Aries snap. They can be pushy, they can be impulsive, and just overall, they be doing too much. So the flip side of Aries then would be having self-starter energy, being courageous. Like I said, to start, passionate, and that fire, when channeled correctly, can be put into work, can be put into maintaining a marriage, winning competitions. Okay, Taurus. Taurus is one of those ones that pretty obvious. Like their symbol is literally used for their like main attribute, which is stubbornness, bullheadedness. Taurus are also known to be big eaters. Wait, not what I meant. Foodies. Okay, there we go. That's better. They're big foodies. And then finally, they love sleeping. They sleep a lot. So the upside of the stubbornness thing is that everybody can stand to have conviction, because that's what it is. It's having conviction in your stance of something, being unshakable. And when it comes to like career, that can mean pursuing something to the end because you're stubborn, so you don't know what the word quit is. And then like the appetite and the sleeping, like that's self-care. That's being in tune with your body, taking care of yourself. You can look at it like that as the positive. Gemini, okay, they're known obviously for having that duality, that split. I'm doing the positive thing again. Gemini are known for being hot and cold. That's the two energies because they have the whole split thing going. The upside to that is having a diverse mindset. Like you can be somebody who's open to trying a variety of different things. It can make you more interesting to a partner because you're not feeling like they're getting the same person all the time. Cancer, they got the shell closed off. They're one of the signs that's known for being a little emotional. Okay, and the thing about a shell is that it protects. And in my experience, when you finally get in the shell with them, they're very protective of you. They're very safe. And like having a shell around your heart obviously can be good when it comes to partner selection and not getting too attached to anybody until you're very sure about them. Shout out to the Cancers in my life. Most of the ones I know that's close to me are in committed relationships that took a minute to get to that point, but they've been with them for years and years and years. Leo, kind of like Aries, they can be impulsive, but the bigger trait I think is that everybody knows is the pride. And oh boy, do Leos have pride. But I think that pride in itself, the word itself, very often used in positive and negative situations. So it's like you should be proud of yourself, proud of your accomplishments, proud of overcoming challenges, proud of your husband or wife, proud of your kids. Leo is also known for being like flashy and kind of like a center of attention type person, but that makes them uniquely really positioned to be like a star. They usually have a good sense of style. Virgo. Now this is one I have a lot of experience with. My mom is a Virgo. I found myself dating a ton of Virgos. They say you end up attracting partners who in some way resemble your parents. Anyway, the main thing about Virgos is very bossy, and they're basically known for being perfectionists and control freaks. But I feel like this one is easy to kind of flip around. First of all, perfectionism isn't great. Like nobody's going to be perfect, and you can cause yourself and others a lot of stress and a lot of resentment from trying to constantly optimize things. I know firsthand. And also the controlling thing, the control freak thing. So the one I always like to keep in mind is the travel planner. Yes, there's going to be some rigidity to you guys' schedule and activities and all that, but you can bet the trip is going to go smoothly. They sat and they thought about time windows and all that. And it's like, because they want to take charge, people like me who are historically very relied upon for things, it's nice to sometimes be able to take a back seat and have somebody else planning things, have somebody else keeping the ship afloat. Libra, critical, harsh, and in my experience, kind of pessimistic, but obviously it's scales. They can be super fair. They can be super balanced people. Scorpio, spicy, cold, detached. They can be very big head over heart people. But needless to say, there's a lot of advantages to being a logical person. And as for the whole stinger thing, as for their ability to cut people and things that don't serve them off, remove things from their life, like that is the upside. That is a skill everybody needs to have to be able to declutter your life. Because to receive new blessings, you got to make room for them. Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, as I implied, they can be very direct, kind of like an arrow. But the upside, obviously, is when they want to be, they can be very clear communicators, strong boundaries, and just overall like advocates for themselves and other people. I'm a Capricorn, can't hit it, can't manage. I don't know why Capricorn always makes me think of that song. So Capricorns, I think the thing I see the most is greedy, like penny pinchers, a little too competitive sometimes, being too career focused. Now the upside to them, I think this is another one that's kind of a little obvious. Maybe they might struggle in relationships, but when it comes to career, like that goat be climbing. They are ascenders. They are people who don't take anything less than the top as acceptable. Aquarius, airheaded, flaky. Aquarius do be ghosting. And just overall weird. No offense to my Aquarius. This is the common perception we're talking here. So the quirkiness of an Aquarius can make them very interesting. They tend to be filled to the brim with a bunch of random facts. So you might think I'm in this tough situation and all I got is my friend, our phones aren't working. You might not be cooked because that Aquarius could have randomly went on a learning binge about, I don't know, how to fix a tire with a toothbrush and a pack of gum. Bring your favorite Aquarius to trivia night or something. Pisces. So the main criticism I see of Pisces, especially when it comes to men, is super duper emotional. They're sensitive, they're thin-skinned. Here's the thing, all you're really describing is being in tune with your emotions, which is something that can serve everyone, especially in today's society where it seems like empathy and consideration and all of those deep feeling things are kind of lacking. This can make them very romantic partners. This can make them understanding, forgiving. And also Pisces comes last. They tend to be able to kind of take on traits of all the other signs. They don't end up wanting to, but they can fit into kind of any circle or environment. And one that I forgot to mention is like dreaminess, like not very present because they're daydreaming or not focused on reality. The upside to that is they tend to be very creative and they're able to imagine a world that exists outside of the status quo. So yeah, next time you are kind of looking down at a specific sign or saying I would never date XYZ, think about the upsides of that sign too. And I'm curious, let me know what your sign is in the comments and whether or not you think that I had an accurate assessment. As you could probably guess, I'm Pisces. Yes, I did gas them a little bit. But lately, Pisces men just been getting such a bad rap. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, may the source be with you.